Jim, good morning and welcome to episode 9 of Connections with Jim Franco.
Bill, as I've said in the past, it's always a pleasure to be interviewed by a professional like you. So thank you.
Thanks, Jim. So, Jim, today let's talk about marketing. And I
Okay.
know that you're a big believer. Uh,
Big.
in previous conversations, Jim, you've mentioned that you've done, I think, 17 acquisitions plus or minus.
Okay.
And one of the things that you've seen in the acquisitions that you've accomplished is that some of the companies you've bought have been light on the amount of marketing they've done in the marketplace. Tell us about how you feel. Tell us how you feel about the role of marketing for the success of a business.
Well, can I tell you a little story
Of
how I
course.
started? I opened my auto parts store in 1965 after I had my service station. I had one employee and myself. And I said, I've got to figure out a way to get the story out that we're here because I got all these parts. And how do I do that? Well, first of all, I had to look at the big players, the supermarket, and they put the milk and the bread kind of back at the back of the store. Well, why did they do that? Because they want to get people to go through the store. So obviously, I put my oils and some of the hot moving items, so they had to go through my gondolas and see if they would buy something. But I think the biggest one was I said I need to get information out, and I think I'll start with flyers. Now this is back in the 60s, okay? So I went down to the stationery store and I got these big sheets of what they call rub off letters, okay? So you just put it down the paper and you can and I put cam special, so I had rub off cam special. Then I took my Polaroid and I take a picture of the camshaft and take scissors and cut it out and glue it on this piece of paper. And I take that and take it down to a print shop and put them on colored paper, and then I'd hand them to get a couple of kids out there, and they would pass them around and put them on the customers' cars or on their buildings in my a few mile radius of my store. And that's kind of how I started out. And then a company come along called the Penny Saver, and they said we would like to take out an ad. I said, well, sure. When we got through the costs, what happened there was now I had them design a page for me, and they come back and I said, no, I want to get this over here. I want this up here, make that bigger. And pretty soon I had uh, an art department working for me, not for free, but I was learning how to make some good ads. So I think that's how I really got started in marketing and I always had my windows painted. I always had specials. I always had a free goodie for my customer. They come in, they got a free set of refillable wiper blades or a little can of hand cleaner, something that was to get them to come back in my store. So that all that is marketing anywhere you put it. So, but to answer your question on acquisitions, I was amazed at the little amount of marketing that technology companies do, and the fact that they all said it wasn't only the marketing, but actually salespeople. They said if I hired a salesperson, then I'm going in the red, and you want me to market on top of that? That stuff's expensive. Well, I remember back in my early days in the when I first bought Autolog in the early '80s. I used to drool over these great big double truck ads that Triad put out, and that's when they did the big 11 by 17 magazine. I can't remember the name of it. And in there they put these gigantic, beautiful ads, and I said, "Oh Lord, please, Lord, someday I want to be able to advertise like that." So over time, and as I grew the companies, and I did do those acquisitions, now I had a bigger footprint to tell the world about all the products we had and how we could help them. So marketing to me has been a staple in my life. I don't know any other way that you could introduce your products, your culture, and your services.
Jim, as I recall, you did not get a marketing degree from Harvard University. Is that right?
Billy, I'm still waiting for my high school diploma from Anaheim Union High School. So yes, no
Okay.
diplomas.
So you're still waiting for that high school diploma. So your marketing acumen, it's just been learned over decades and decades of working in the aftermarket and just knowing what works and what doesn't.
And I got to tell you one more time, I'm not the smartest guy in the shed, but I guarantee you, I watch people that are really smart and how they market and what they did, whether it's painting the windows or putting flags up out there, having specials inside, contests, fill out this card and win a free television, one of those a week. That's all marketing, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not putting an ad in the newspaper. In fact, let me tell you another little teen story. A guy called me up one day and said, Jim Franco, you do a really good job at marketing. And I'm ready to start. I want to put an ad in the da da da. And I said, let me tell you something. If you're going to market, you have to do it all. And you got to do it consistently. You can't just put an ad out one day and hopefully that's going to bring you more business. It is a consistency and a process. And I said, you need to do it all. You need to do telemarketers. That means you call on the phone and talk to people. You got to do the trade shows, as many as you can every single year. You've got to do print ad. You've got to do, you got to do it all. And you got to do trade shows, print ad, advertising, any way you possibly can. And when there was yellow pages, we do yellow pages. Now you got to do social media to get the word out. It's just the way it is. And it's very, very important.
Yeah, Jim, I think you said to be consistent about it. If there's one thing proven about marketing over the years, it's the consistency. If you look at like major brands, the Coca-Colas and the car companies, I mean, they never stop, right? They never ever stop. Never stop.
Never stop.
So Jim, let me ask, you've done all these stuff. Is there any that strike you that were especially fun or clever or effective, or maybe they weren't even effective, but it was just fun to put together?
I really don't know how effective it is, but I think you remember, and I think it was last year, maybe the year before, where I had a double truck ad in your magazine, right?
Yep.
And on the left-hand side, it says, the future is coming. And the other side, I put a great big gigantic QR code on blank white paper. That was, I think, one of my most clever things I've ever done in marketing. People got to say, this guy spends thousands of dollars and puts a QR code on a blank page. That was a good one.
Pretty clever.
That was a good one. And we've tried, I've tried the whimsical ways. We've tried, now I've got a great marketing girl, Katie, and we've brought our ads up to a little more, less, I've always been yelled at about this, less copy, Franco. You don't have to tell the whole world exactly how this product works and exactly what it costs and how it's going to cost, justify it all in one ad. These are supposed to be to get them to be interested. So we've gone a little classier role in the last couple of years, and it's worked out well.
And so, Jim, related to marketing, of course, and one reason to do it is branding, right? A lot of ways to market and say, hey, here's a lost leader, go in the store and buy it. That's one way to market. But branding is another reason for marketing, just to tell your branding story. And, I like to think, and I think you probably like to think, you have a pretty well-known brand in the aftermarket, right?
I do.
Maybe just talk about the value of branding and how it helps you guys, or what you try to do to maintain it, or what your brand stands for.
Well, I think our brand stands for really quality service, because everybody has the product, everybody has a name, but to brand your culture, to brand your services, and to let people, and I'll use all the expression, you got to walk like you talk, to put out what we do and do that, and that's high respect for the industry, and I think that's my main thrust as a service provider type company. That's my brand. I can't make a brand like a merchandise that I produce. Yes, we do, but I think it's more of a overall our attitude about we're here to help people adopt technology with our brand.
Jim, one of the things when we've spoken over the years that you say, that you talk about, and I think it's a real marketing tool, is you say when they call you guys, a human picks up the phone.
I didn't say I talked to a person. I did three things. Number one, you answer that phone on the second or third ring. Nothing disturbs me more. And I'm called one of my customers, one of my distributors, and the phone rings and rings. I said, "Are you guys? What's the matter with you guys? There's a customer wants to give you money." Anyhow, number one, you answer the phone to the second or third ring. Number two, I will not have, and ever have. How can I route your call? No, you're going straight to one of my hotline persons. Now, you might not be, because I got 8 products, 11 e-commerce products, you might not get the one specialized in your field, but it's going to be answered on that second or third ring. And we do have a way that our customers go straight into our Sugar database and put in a ticket, a request. That ticket is, I guaranteed, answered within 10 to 15 minutes, or any email is answered within 10 to 15 minutes. This is very, very important because we're getting into a technology world, and I still want to keep my service level high, even though, messages and emails and email strings get to be kind of, well, I'm old school. They kind of, guys, why don't you just pick up the phone and talk to your cohort head and get the answer rather than this string and string and string of email. You know what I mean? But it's okay. It's our new world, and we got to adopt to it, and it's fun.
A 5-minute phone call can take the place of 45 minutes of email.
You got it. You got it, exactly.
Jim, great to be with you and talk about marketing on Connections with Jim Franco today.
Well, I am more than pleased to share with the audience, and I hope a few items resonated so they can go out there and get their customer excited about doing business with them.